Everyone, this is Jimmy. Today it's the 12th of May. It's 1 o'clock and 39 minutes Dutch time. Hope you guys are all doing well. Hope you enjoyed your weekend. This is another update on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some other altcoins. If you're listening right now, smash that like button. And if you have any request, it doesn't matter, a chart request, trading psychology question, or whatsoever, drop them in the comments. So, what's happening with Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin is performing quite well. I've been sharing this chart for let's say a few weeks and months, and I was saying here this might be your higher low. Now we can all confirm this is indeed a higher low. But look where Bitcoin right now is. Bitcoin is approaching another major resistance level, which basically aligns with the all-time high. You guys all know this chart as well. I've been sharing this since, years ago. This is a very obvious chart, and it contains also a lot of psychology and market psychology. But I will keep this one short. More often than not, Bitcoin is ranging. When Bitcoin is ranging, people are losing their freaking minds because people are getting depleted. Not only because Bitcoin is ranging, it's also mainly because Bitcoin is ranging and their altcoins are depreciating against Bitcoin. In other words, alts are going down while Bitcoin is ranging and eventually going up. So there is this false notion, and this is a big mindset trap. This is a fallacy. Altcoins only make you rich. Bitcoin doesn't make you rich. Well, it's rather the opposite. Those who are not positioned in Bitcoin, those are actually getting poor and not rich because alts are depreciating against Bitcoin in general. We also need to understand that vertical price movements are short lived, very powerful, and hard to catch. That's why being in the market is way more important than trying to catch the bottom. So what do we see here on this chart? This was a range. It lasted 252 days. We all can remember this range as the day of yesterday. People were freaking out. The same happened here. Technically, what we can say is this is a rectangle, and within this rectangle, we see the price approaching the what? The range high, the resistance level. So a few things can happen. Of course, a breakout. If it breaks out, I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin would reach 130k up to 150k. For this, I just use like the classical way of determining a target, and or you could also use fib extension. This zone here, oh, that's the wrong one. This zone here, that's my breakout target. Here, this one. This is my breakout target if we're gonna get a breakout. Nothing is confirmed, nothing is certain. Since this is range high, since this is resistance, I believe the path of least resistance is still a pullback. I hope for a soft pullback, what we would call technically of a short fall. What is a short fall? Why is this important when it comes to rectangles and ranges? Well, ideally, I would love to see something like this. It's trying to break out, everyone is excited, and then it goes down, but it doesn't go down very deeply. It's a soft rejection and then a breakout. This is what we call a short fall. It means it goes into a bearish direction, but bears are not strong enough, bulls are strong enough to defend that level. Bears are not strong enough to push lower, and then you get a very good breakout. This is my most likely scenario. hard time to believe that we just gonna see one candle, piercing through this rectangle and then approaching this zone, my target. Yes, it's possible, but not very likely. I do expect some pushback. I mean, we're already getting some positive news. US-China trade war, latest global markets lifted by tariff deal. So the markets are responding quite well. This is actually good news. And when the good news is consumed and absorbed already by the market, then the question is, what other good news is there to sustain that uptrend? That's something to think about. So this is Bitcoin. Overall, it looks good. By the way, maybe some of you do not realize this, but last week's weekly close was the second highest weekly close ever in Bitcoin history. And with that said, we only need a daily close above what is it, 106.2k, and Bitcoin basically has printed a new all-time high based on a daily close. Understand, a daily close is way more important than a wick. Okay, wick often is, depend how you approach the markets, but overall you could say a wick is just noise. What really matters is the daily close. So what is Ethereum doing? Our big friend, our big disappointment, the black sheep of crypto, Ethereum. What is this? What is this yellow line? This is a parabola. This is a bearish parabola. And see how it accelerated from this point all the way to this. It was getting sharper here, more sharper than the decline from this level to this level. This was a very sharp decline. So my thesis has been this: a weekly close, 1-2 candles outside of this parabola, and I believe the bottom is in for Ethereum. Also, from an RSI perspective, we see this point, right, where Ethereum actually started to going down very aggressively. Aligns basically with this point of the RSI. What do we see here? What do we see here? Here, this line. What do we see here? This is a what? This is the RSI breakout. So this is another confirmation that things are looking very good for Ethereum against Bitcoin. Ideally, we're gonna see another RSI breakout from this trend line, because this is a trend line that basically started when Ethereum was really strong. If that happens, and you guys know my take, RSI below the 50 level generally is not a good sign. Above the 50 level would be amazing for Ethereum, and I believe if that happens, then a lot of altcoins will do very well, especially those in the Ethereum ecosystem. So I'm quite excited. Also, look, this gray box. This is basically support. It bounced from a support level. Ideally, again, I would love to see a RSI breakout, and also from the EMA perspective, what I would love to see, not sure if it happened. I think it crossed the 12 EMA, but not sure. Let's see. Yeah. So you see this, how the blue line here is curling up right here. For my homies with very dry eyes and with glasses and lenses like me, look how it's curling up. That's a good sign. This is a sign of potential momentum, or it is actually momentum. But is it short-lived or not? Nobody really knows. Also, you see that the speed of the EMA here does not confirm the speed that happened here. So this is a good sign as well. Ideally, we're gonna see a candle close in June or so above the 21 EMA. That will be another sign of strength, but now pure from a structure perspective. See this gray box here. This was support. Here it was like consolidating below it and a little bit, around that resistance. Here we basically pierce. This could be here your throwback, this candle here. So we might see some consolidation here, and then it goes up again. I believe if Bitcoin doesn't ruin the party, and we're gonna get that shortfall and that breakout, likely this scenario will play out for Ethereum against Bitcoin. Maybe also very interesting to see what's happening with Ethereum against USDT. The weekly, look, this is my favorite chart in the my favorite high time frame Ethereum against Bitcoin USDT chart. This gray zone, this key SNR level is a very old SNR level, meaning it's very relevant, very strong. We've been trading here below that level for a while, and look how quickly it pierced through this level. This is a sign of strength. Consider this as a triple top. I believe, look, if Ethereum can break through this level here, likely the next level to watch for is around 4K. And this can happen very quickly. We have seen it previously, right? I mean, you need only 2, 3, 4 weekly candles and it's back at 4K. This level, people were screaming for lower prices. And as higher the price goes, as you will see more people screaming for higher prices, and also the other way around. This is typically confirmation bias and recency bias. Everything that happens now at the current moment will get the most weight for a few reasons. Happy to discuss that in a separate trading psychology session with you guys. So what else do we have? We have here peak. I was sharing this for a while. This is a sign of strength. This is a beautiful breakout. Nothing more to add, and still there's a lot of potential. I mean, if you believe in deepening like me, this is good. This is what you want to see. We have also anyone. I'm a big fan of anyone. It's approaching this SNR level. Look how it acted this gray level as support here, here, here. This here is typically resistance, rejected, bearish retest. This is a sign of strength, this move. But now it needs to reclaim this level. If it happens, I see easily anyone going towards, $2, $3 eventually. What else do we have? What else? Yes, total 3. This is total 3. I was sharing this chart for a while. Look, this is a bearish divergence. Some folks will say, no, it's not a bearish divergence because too many candles. No. Bearish divergence or divergence in essence is just a indicator, is not confirming price action. That's actually what divergence is. It doesn't matter how many candles are, in that divergence. Also, if you go to the 3-week, then you do not have that argument anymore that this divergence has more than 14 candles, because this is less than 40 candles or even like 20 candles. So what do we see here on the total 3? By the way, total 3 is just like the market cap, but without Bitcoin, without Ethereum. And in my situation on this chart, it's also without the major stables. So this is just pure altcoins, basically. So what do we see here? Bearish divergence, played out, bounced from the RSI. As you guys may remember or not, this is here a support zone for the RSI, and it bounced here. So what does it mean? It means actually a few things. That RSI divergence basically flat out, and it's gone, right? Like the chart has absorbed the divergence. There's no divergence anymore. Also, what we can see here is the RSI crossed the 50 level. You guys know my general rule of thumb. Nothing good happens below the 50 level, and good things generally happen above the 50 level. We are now above the 50 level. Ideally, we're going to stay above the 50 level and heading upwards. There's still a lot of potential for altcoins. I mean, this is 30% And I wouldn't be surprised in June or July if you're gonna see a new all-time high on the total three. Um, what else is there? We have the Bitcoin dominance. Yeah, this one. This one is again also without stables, without the major stables. What do we see here? Beautiful bearish divergence, and see how the RSI crossed the, went through the safety level and crossed through the safety level again, right? It went down, crossed the 70 level. This is a sign of exhaustion. This is good to see, but there's a big but. Really, there is a very big but. The but is here. This could be very short-lived, honestly. I mean, you guys remember the alt season we had here. This was basically your alt season here. A lot of alts performed very well. Maybe you can remember, like Peak, I think, did well, and anyone, Rio. I mean, many of these alts performed well, and then look what happened with Bitcoin dominance. It went up again. So this could be a very short-lived bearish momentum. It's, I believe, too early to make here conclusions based on this chart. But also what you need to remember, a few things, is one, if you see that CoinMarketCap is telling you, hey guys, this is altcoin season, then it's basically too late to get yourself a bag, because you're too late. If this is like flashing like it's 90 out of 100 altcoin season, be very careful. Really, be very careful. When you see that other people are telling you, hey, CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, and all these other indicators and charts and whatnot are flashing that this is altcoin season, you're basically too late, and that's actually the time to load off, to sell, to de-risk, if you will. Also, this is something that I've been sharing for a long time, for years now. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but at least since 2024, especially since the ETFs. I've been measuring the ETF inflow for a long time. This is now by far my most favorite website. Look, 3.17 million Bitcoins have been scooped up mainly through the ETFs. And then countries, public companies, private companies, mining companies, DeFi. And I will tell you this, the Bitcoins that have been scooped up through the ETFs, they will not enter the crypto ecosystem at all. At all. The same for countries, likely also for the public companies. I do not see Tesla saying, hey, we're going to sell our Bitcoin and going to buy something else. I do not see Saylor or his company strategy saying, hey, you know what? We want a asymmetrical bet. We're going to sell Bitcoin and going to buy, let's say, something, Litecoin or Link. This will never, ever happen. This will never, ever happen. So the way how I see this, the way how I consider this is this. The 15% of the total supply will not circulate back into altcoins. That's why I've been saying this for a long time. This old model of money rotating from Bitcoin to Ethereum to the high caps and then, the low caps. This is a very outdated model. Until proven otherwise, I'm not gonna believe in this model. However, I do believe in narratives. Let's see if there is more to talk about, like BNB. BNB is also looking very strong. I mean, many alts, they need to pull a 100, 200% to get back at, 2024 all-time high. BNB just needs 17%. BNB is doing here quite well. I'm more interested in, these kind of coins than coins that look bottomed, because there's a reason why they look bottomed, because nobody wants to buy them. Yes, they can have vertical moves, but these are really typically the beta plays. This is Doge, the father of all memes. I like what I'm seeing here. I've been sharing this for quite well. Um, I think I also suggested to go long. This is a beautiful place to go long. I haven't opened a trade. Honestly, also, I haven't been trading a lot of alts, mainly Bitcoin, for a few reasons. It's easier to read, easier to trade, and win rate is higher. And alts, honestly, it was a waste of time for me personally. So I decided to just focus on Bitcoin because that's where my strength was. I might change my approach if there is more clarity in the directional structure of many of these alts. But honestly, here, I love what I'm seeing here on this Doge chart. Reclaim this level, and I see Doge easily heading towards 31 cents and even higher. So with that said, I am optimistic. The total 3 looks good. Bitcoin dominance looks good. And again, it could be short-lived, just like all these other times. So you could have a alt season maybe, if you will, for a few weeks. I mean, again, like an alt season doesn't mean like, alt season we had back into 2021. With alt season, I mean, alts doing, X2 or X3 and still they are 90% below their all-time high. That's, for me, the new altcoin season. Ethereum against Bitcoin, dollar looks good, or USDT, if you will. Ethereum against Bitcoin looks it looks like a bottom and a beautiful reversal structure, what you can see here. And Bitcoin, again, this is resistance until proven otherwise. Ideal scenario is what? Shortfall. It means, bears are trying to push, but then bulls are stepping in. Bears don't have enough capacity to push price lower, and then something like this. That will be beautiful. I don't mind to get here first a fake out, and then that shortfall, and then a legit breakout. So with that said, let's say let's call this a call. Let's call this a video. Hope you enjoy this, and if you have manners, smash that like button. If you have a chart request or any other question, drop them. I'm gonna respond to every single question. Until the next time, see you around, legends. God bless.